Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We will also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 94 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year this year, all doing it outside, bearing the weather, whatever it may bring. Today was a pretty nice day. I think it was about in the high 60s. It was Easter Day. Great day to get out there today. I also challenged myself at the beginning of the year to run 1,250 miles within that time frame. Last year was my first year ever fully running. I was able to run 1,000 miles within that year, and I was able to run, I think, about 180 days. So this is a 25% step up in miles and a 100% step up in the amount of days I will be running. I'm also running my first ever 50K trail race in Yankee Springs, Michigan in June, and I will also be running my first officially timed marathon in Detroit in October. Really looking forward to both of those races and trying to set some personal times and personal records for both of those. Other than that, let's kind of just talk about today, the mileage I got today, the week, the month, and the year. So for today, I really wanted to pump out something a little more substantial all throughout the week. I did all right, nothing too big. I did one medium-sized day, kind of like today. Today I pumped out 6.8 miles. Really wanted to get out there and put in just a little bit over an hour of a workout. So 6.8 miles, that put me at 26.3 miles for the week, closing out the week a little bit shorter than I wanted to. The bare minimum I'm trying to get for a week is 25, but I'd really like to try to hit 33. So a little bit shorter than 33, but I did hit my bare minimum this week, so still feeling overall pretty good on that pace. But the real reason I realized I had to do at least a minimum of 25 is because I need to average at least 100 miles each month in order to hit my yearly goal of 1250. I have to average just a little bit over 100 each month. So I wanted to make sure I would do that by hitting at least 25 miles per week. Hitting the 33 miles per week gives me a good chunk head start, and just separating from how many miles I really have to put in towards the end. But the bare minimum I like to do is 25. So that being said, I realized I have to do 100 per month. I wanted each month to do a 100-mile challenge, since I'd be doing 100 miles anyways, but do a 100-mile challenge in honor of different fundraisers and charities and try to raise money each month for them. In January, February, and March, I was able to hit each of the miles of 100 miles. 104 the first month, 133 the second month, 125 the third month. So all the miles were hit, and we were able to raise money for 3 different charities. We were able to raise money for the American Cancer Society, the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network, and the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. The Dolly Parton Imagination Library fundraiser actually still is currently going on until April 7th. That will be the last day for donations to take that one. Currently, though, we are in April. I have 15.7 miles after today for the month. That's where we're sitting at for the 100-mile challenge. And April's fundraiser and charity is Autism Speaks. April is Autism Awareness Month, so I really wanted to try to raise money for this fundraiser and this charity. I have yet to make my donation, but I plan to do it sometime this upcoming week. Realize that, no donation is too small or too big. If you can only donate $5, don't feel bad. That still goes a long way, and it helps out a lot. If you can donate more, great. That's awesome. I do know times are tough, though, and if you can't donate at all, do not feel bad. If you can, if you can't donate, don't feel bad. But at least if you can, share this fundraiser so other people can see it, and that way they'll be able to donate, and we can continue spreading the awareness for autism and and raise money for it as well. So that being said, you can find the link to donate to this fundraiser for April, as well as last month's fundraiser, which will be closing out in a couple days, on the Defining Discipline Instagram and Facebook story, as well as my personal pages, Instagram and Facebook story. So they'll open a link right up there on the stories. You click on the stories, it'll open up, say, donate, click on donate. It'll open up another page where you can donate, put in how much you want to donate and all that through Facebook. All donations go directly to this fundraiser. Facebook takes 0 cuts. I take 0 cut. So it's a really cool thing to do and go through Facebook, because they're making sure that these charities are getting every single penny that gets donated to them. So like I said, we're at 15.7 miles for the month, and that put me at 380.6 for the year. So we were on a very good pace this year so far. Let's see what it says. It says I'm 58.6 miles ahead of my plan for the year. So those extra miles I put in February and in March added up to 56 or whatever I just said, miles ahead of my plan, 58.6 miles ahead of my plan. So this week coming up, I'm really going to try to step it up and get at least 33 miles in, and maybe try to pump it out 3 weeks in a row like I did before, and really end this month again at right around 125 miles as well. So other than that, guys, it has been a great day. Today is Easter Day. Had the fam over, some of the fam over earlier. Spent some time with our, my new daughter, their new granddaughter, and just an overall good day. Had some good food, sat around, watched some good movies. Rewatched Big. It's been so long since I've seen Big, but it was actually a really good movie to watch again. It was funny, especially if you haven't seen it in a while. But other than that, let's kind of get into today's episode. Episode 94, day 94. It's Easter Day, so what better day to talk about this, and that is resurrection. We all know the story, and maybe you don't know, so I guess if you don't, we can just touch on it real quick. The whole point of Easter is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. He was crucified, and then he rose from the dead 3 days later to prove that he was the Son of God. And we can get into that religious aspect of Easter and the aspect of a resurrection. We can even talk about how not even just in Christianity, but in other forms of religion, that kind of resurrection story, you'll see it repeat throughout a lot of different religious stories, and it's not necessarily because it's not that it's made up, because I do believe I just believe that it's such a significant story that it got kind of pushed across time in different religions and stuff. So the whole point of resurrection, though, is a really cool thing to think of, because like I said, it's the idea of kind of dying and being born again, coming back, being resurrected from what once was. And you can kind of look at it two different ways. You can think of it as kind of like an evil thing of like maybe you were an evil guy and you died and you came back to life and you're a zombie now and you're still wreaking havoc. But the way I really like to look at it is necessarily as maybe there is a piece of you that needs to die. Maybe there's a piece of you that you need to kill off in order to resurrect yourself and to continue on and to develop as a person and to really become that person you want to be. So there's definitely different, that's the way I look at it, and there's things that I've done that I've noticed that, that I have killed off in the things that I do. There's things that I've done that I was never proud of, or ways I would act and stuff like that I'm trying to kill off, and I'm trying to resurrect myself into becoming not necessarily a child of God or children of God, but I'm trying to become that best version of myself. not just for myself, but for my family and for the people around me. And um, I'm trying to, be resurrect myself into, like I said, the best version of myself possible. I'm trying to kill off all those versions of me that made those different mistakes. You can kind of look at it, that's the way I kind of look at it, is all the mistakes you made. That's your resurrection. You can use that as your resurrection. I did this at this one point in time in my life. Now, at another point in time in my life, when I come up to something that resembles that almost to a T, I can either make the same mistake twice, or I can learn from my first time around and not make that same mistake two times in a row, and try to resurrect myself into, like I said, that better version, that more holy, or I don't want to say holy, but yes, just the best version of myself I can be. So the idea of resurrection to me is really cool, especially, like I said, since I feel like I have been resurrected into a different person, with my mentality and my outlook on everything. I really strive to try to become better. And I'm not going to say, it was exactly a resurrection, but that's exactly how it feels like. It feels like a cleanse. It feels like I've let go of so much weight that was holding me back. So that's pretty much it, guys. I don't want to get into too much details with it. Today is a day about resurrection, though, so I really wanted to kind of touch on resurrection, and maybe we can all just really take in the idea of resurrection and really think about, even if you don't believe in the story of Jesus, just think about the idea of a resurrection and the meaning and the significance behind, the resurrection of Jesus. The idea is that he died for our sins and all of that. It's so amazing, and really, like I said, I've never been like a huge believer. I'm not someone that's super religious, but the more I've kind of really, I used to be one that kind of just put it off as like, this is stupid, and not really put myself into actually trying to think about it, or examine it and try to look at it as a more of a metaphorical idea. I just kind of always put it off as something really dumb. But the more I've actually tried to understand it and connect with, Christianity and Judaism and all of that, the more I realize its significance. So, yeah, I don't want to get too much into just babbling, because that's what I'm kind of doing right now. So for today, your daily discipline, it is to think about resurrection. It is to think about all of the bad things that you need to kill off about yourself, in order to resurrect yourself to be the best version of yourself possible. And maybe you can even think of maybe some good things that you have killed off, as well. There's things that I realized that it was actually kind of good for me that I killed off, and quit doing. Just, we can talk about just being active in general, like that idea of, me used to be playing sports and skateboarding, and doing things to keep my, I wasn't necessarily like working out all the time in the best shape, but I was always active enough where I stayed in shape. But then I fell off that and started drinking more and partying more, and I killed the healthy version of myself. So now it's time for me to resurrect. I've been resurrecting that version of myself back, trying to be the healthiest version of myself, and start taking into account, what I'm doing to my body and how I'm doing it, and ways I can recover better and be a better versions of myself. So maybe that's what you can think of as your daily discipline for resurrection as well. Maybe you can think back of things that you used to do that were good for you, that you killed off in yourself that you can resurrect and bring back. Or you can maybe think of the bad things that you are currently doing that you need to kill off in order to bring back a better version of yourself. So that is your daily discipline for today, episode 94, day 94, April 4th, 2021, Easter Day. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. This has been so much fun. Some days have been a little bit more stressful than others, especially days that I wait to put it off to the last minute. That's been these last few weeks just because of trying to adjust to the new baby and the new schedule, and still trying to put in the miles while being super tired and taking naps and getting everything uploaded before midnight. It's been a challenge, but it's been fun, and I'm so glad I've been doing it and keeping at it. And I want to thank you guys so much for following along. We've had some comments, people asking me questions about, gear. People ask me questions about why I started running, all that stuff. It's all been positive feedback so far, guys. I really appreciate it so much. Thank you for all listening and following along. If you guys can, please just keep sharing. Let other people know. Please give the Instagram, the Facebook, the YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you guys listen to us on. Give us a follow, a share, a subscribe. Let all your friends know. Let me know if you've been following along with some of these daily disciplines, how you've been doing. I'm going to try to stay in more touch. I'm going to try to start rolling in some guests here now that I'm trying to finally get this vibe in of how the baby and that scheduling and everything is going to go. So thank you guys for being so patient and for following along. 94 days, feeling great, feeling awesome. Can't wait to just keep pumping these out. Got quite a bit to go. Like I said, just a couple days ago, we were a quarter of the way through of this 365-day goal. So I'm really excited, feeling good. Let's close this episode out, though, guys, so you guys can take off and do your stuff that you need to get done. I can finish mine, and I'll see you guys back here again tomorrow for episode 95. So this is a Defining Discipline podcast. This was episode 94. It was about resurrection. So thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you guys stay disciplined, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for episode 95. I'm your host, Scott. Peace out.